Hello everybody. Um, a little video, maybe it's a little bit longer video. I was requested quite a few times in the past month. Dio, please make a video about the stages of the twin flames. I made a videos before about the twin flames. I made a video about the stages, and you got to be very careful when you're reading about stages or when you look at the stages about the twin flames. How you gonna use that information? How you gonna program in yourself? Because you may gonna send up the relationship between you and your twin flame to hell, simply because you're trying to learn the program for a people who decide not to trust their souls. Twin flame has the pre-stages. I'm gonna give you all the pre-stages, but before you do all this, I want you to listen to this video with one thing in mind. Be your true self. It's harder, especially when you're with the twin flame relationship, and very harder, specifically when you're married. Let's not talking about if you're a different culture, different religion, or even different languages. They cannot talk to each other. That even makes it more harder into it. The whole part of the stages is that you do not surrender to that love at the beginning. Then you will be tossing out of this bubble love, which is represents the paradise and the Bible, and then you're gonna be tossing out, and until you don't focus, until you don't fix your stuff, you don't have the rights to come back. And basically, it's this going out to the hell stages to come back to the part of you committing, you admitting to the love. I've been talking to a few people quite a bit about the twin flames. I see some twin flames. Personally, I know people they've been on this craziness. Some of them for a lot of years. And we're talking about 17, 20 years to hell. Instead of you listen to the part of this love that it's hard to describe within a soul that puts two people together. And when puts the two people together, I brought this quote, I wrote it. She loves him not for his darkness deep inside of his light, but because he was in love with her light deep in her darkness. That is the part when two individuals will see their light and their darkness, and they're gonna learn to accept each other just the way they are, without any desires to change, improve, or control or steer the relationship. And that is very hard because we have this mentality from the society that we're gonna change this. So my pray for you, my personal desire to you, if you just already went to the ignition state, that's the part when you and your twin are physically meet for the first time. Whatever you do, first of all, relax and try to figure out how to live together with your twin flame and go on. With that point, how you two gonna be evolving together. Other than that, you're gonna be going through a hell of changes, and as other people before me, you asking for a dead wish on it. And that's the part when you want to meet your twin flame. Everything else is gonna be that you know in life is gonna be changed. Everything, and the process of those changes are a very, very in a high level of vibrations. And some they run away from those vibrations. But when you trust, surrender, and let it go, basically there is a higher powers that brings this control over the relationship of the twin flame, that at some point they both start feel the connection again after the hell. And then it's the realization process, and after the realization process it's require one thing, and that is action of how the things to be. So to begin off, the beginning of it is it's the preparation. You before you meet your twin flame, you prepare yourself for to meet the twin flame, because you don't know when you're gonna meet them, what the heck is gonna happen to you. So what is the preparation? The preparation is the state when you find this stage of life. Then all of a sudden you're like, well, my relationships suck, my life suck, I didn't accomplish anything for 20 plus years. I basically am a loser. What's wrong with me? And when it's wrong with you, you start looking deep inside of you. And when you look at it deep inside of you, you figure out that it's something is missing within the soul. Because everything that you know about the material world, you already tasted. You probably married, have kids. All of a sudden, you already learn about all the relationships, and you learn these layers of on it. And you do this preparation all of a sudden. You to have a relationship within the soul. Somehow, the soul is just pushing you that way. And when it's pushing it that way, you focus on that. And whatever you focus, that's what you attract. And the law of attraction says, okay, you are ready to meet your twin, you will. And when you do this, there's going to be some inner fights with you, because all of a sudden, when you begin at that stage, there's going to be inner fights. And that inner fights, those are positions that you've been waking up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and all of a sudden something's telling you inside of you, you're gonna get divorced, you're gonna meet someone special. Who's talking to me? And the next night that will repeat, and then the next night that will repeat until it comes into this part that aggravates you, and you don't know what's going on, and you're just like, you hear that, and it's like, okay, I'll divorce, I'll get to it. Now, the next day, it's like, you're going to get a new job. Okay. Do I have to go to the same to reading all night? No. Okay, I'm gonna be looking for a new job. And there is those preparations into it, because all of a sudden you learn the very, very first stage how to trust the soul when it's talking inside of you. And that part, for example, you go out looking for a job, you applying in the places, you going into, they offer you a job, but the job doesn't pay you what you're supposed to be. Something doesn't happen. Then the money is right, but they don't like you, and you keep on going and keep on going, but you can't stay in the same place, because at night it's go on, find a new job. You can find a new job, keep looking. You have to get a new job, you need to go in a new place. So here you are, you go into this new job, you go into the new place, and now you're this individual that it's like, okay, let's see what it's this all about. What is those dreams that are all about? What is those changes? And you look at it, that those changes, they are above your control. All of a sudden you find yourself like, okay, I understand somehow I have to go with the flow. And you accept in the job, where they call you and they say, all right, we'll give you a job, you're going to like the job that you'll do, we're going to give you the money that you deserve, and you're going to start on Tuesday. And you're like, okay, finally. So you go in on Tuesday, and you go around, you look at it, and you get to it. And this is not just happened to me. This has happened to a lot of the people they met their twin flame at work. There is this lady that she told me that he was the manager of the store. She was working at the coffee shop. She met him. There was a stories that he was working on production line, and she was the HR. And there's some quite a few stories I can tell you about twin flames. Some of them are very, very funny about work and relationship. There is the one very special that she's a nurse. He's a doctor, and they have quite a few. The people understand that something's going on between them, and there is stories that wow, okay, but that's the part of the twin flames is when it gets prepared to it. And when you meet your twin flame, all of a sudden there's gonna be this attraction, but you don't know what the reason is for. It's not a sexual, it's not a physical, it's got nothing to do with whatever you know. And you're like, well, I'm attracted to this person, what's going on? I don't understand any of this. You see, you understand there is something else is going on. And that prepares you for your very first known stage of the twin flame. That is the ignition state. What the ignition state is the connections within the soul. Usually it does explained like, oh my gosh, I saw his light from the eyes, or I saw his light of the soul that comes beam right up. I saw these vibrations coming out of him as rings. I saw her, that light that comes in. For me, it was the light coming from her eyes, and I got awakened. And this is the part when you meet your twin flame, you're like, what just happened? What's going on right now? What is this story? The bubble love, it's incredible. It's about like it's putting you in a state of the paradise. And when it puts you in a state of the paradise, this is the time when you're trying to figure it out and balancing what's going on. And to 99% of the people, okay, they go crazy, they go nuts, simply because of lack of education on twin flames. And when it's craziness going on, one or the other gets awakened and goes into the twin flame stage. The other one usually becomes silent and goes down to look at deep inside of the darkness of themselves, what they need is going on. And this is the time when the fight of the egos begin. The fight of the egos, it's like, I'm married, I can't be with you, I have a kids, I need to look my kids, not you. And deep inside of the ego controls, but the soul continues to have this vibrations about your twin flame. And the twin flame just feels everything. And you're trying to navigate something that you cannot navigate. Simply you have to trust, surrender, and let it go. Let that love to be. But as I said, 99% of the people, because of lack of education in the twin flames, they decide to go ahead and separate, or they believe this is craziness. How come with this connection can be that strong? How come I can she or he feel him so much? How all of a sudden when you will know they're coming, that you see them, how come you have this telepathic connection? How you understand these people so much? all of a sudden all those questions drive you crazy. And by the way, it affects your personal life. If you are in a relationship, that will really drive you nuts. And I have a lot of the people they connected to me is like, Dio, I met my twin flame. This is just incredible. But holy crap, I'm married. What do you want me to do? Well, here it is. You married, okay? Now, you with your husband? Yes, okay. How do you feel when you sleep with him? Oh, I don't feel good when I sleep with him in the same bed. Why? Well, my soul, it's asked me to sleep with my twin flame. So what does that gotta tell you? Where you need to be? Are you listening to your soul? And this is the biggest advice I've been giving to twin flames. It's listen to your soul. Your soul leads you where you need to be. Your soul begins to give you this preparation for the twin flames, and your soul leads you into the journey through the twin flames. You cannot navigate it. The navigation of the twin flames is within the soul. And this is why a lot of people have a hard time to let it go. This is why people, they're in silence, because they don't know what to do. The silence treatment from the twin flames is just to allow them to find the time and the space for it. And the more the chaser begin to chase, and the runner running more, and that is the part of the running chaser dynamic comes up until the chaser stop chasing and the runner becomes stop running. Now the runner has the time and the space, they can realize what's going on, and the chaser stops and he realizes what's going on. And that is the beginning of the part when you understand that they were separated just for that reason, to find the differences within themselves, that there are no differences. There was only a programming from the society, religion, friends, family, and so on. And now what happening is you're learning the really the hard parts. You're learning how to surrender. You have to, that part of surrender, it is about you finally says, okay, I surrender, he's my twin, okay, I'm surrendering. But just the surrendering is you stopping the inner fight. But just because you stop the inner fight doesn't mean that you will go through it. You still don't trust it. And until you don't trust on this connection, there's not going to be anything to move on, because you maybe accept their twin flames, but you're not doing anything. You don't have trust on that twin flame connection yet. And let it go. Now, the let it go, it's hard because you have to let go of relatives, friends, kids, money, houses, material life. And for a lot of the people, the ego right there, it's taken over. It's like, I'm a wealthy businesswoman, I'm a wealthy businessman, I'm a very known into the political world, I'm a teacher, I am ego. And that part right there, when it's complete, the trust, surrender, and let go, that it's finishing and begin the stage of realization. And at that stages of realization, okay, it finally frees you up. You doesn't have you realize that you're twin flame, and you have to give them the unconditional love and allow the universe to arrange the stuff between you and your twin flame. You finally get to the point that whatever is happening between you and your twin flame, It was, it is, and it's controlled by the universe. You just have to get ready to prepare yourself for this by you letting go, trust, and surrender on that part. And then you put your twin flame into the universe, and it's like, I can't talk to it, I can't do anything about it. It's all about you and you, universe, and the twin flame. I have nothing to do with that. I'm done with my part. Let them do their own process. And when you do that, you surrender your ego. When you surrender your ego to be with your twin, you allow the universe to do the changes that needs to be changed. And you begin to the next stages, which is actions. There's gonna be some actions done, but now by the universe. And this is the part of actions that when the runner does this realization, they're the one who has to contact you. This is when the runner comes back to the chaser. It finally understands that they're twin flames and committed to the relationship. They should be committed right at the first of the ignition stage. And this is the part is that if you had information about the twin flames, that this is love within the soul, and you have to obey that love within the soul right at the beginning of the stage, you wouldn't go through these nightmares. You would have just accept that and start working on the changes that you need to do, the actions that you need to do. You will skip all that nightmare. You don't skip that nightmare. That nightmare throughout lives on both sides of the twin flames will be teaching them how they have to go back and commit it to that love within the soul. And I see some people who we had the twin flame event in Chicago, and I see some couple who actually had to go through this pain of changes, had to get through these parts. One of the couples, they were 17 years. It took them to get together. They recently got married. There was another couples that they had to overcome everything, and the family had to be pushed away. None of his family members approved the relationship. And the third couples, it was after so many years, he finally committed into. He come back into it, and the last ones, that was the part when his kids told him, you know what, we don't want you to socialize with us because of her. And of course, when you're a twin flame, you don't give a crap about all that. The only thing you give a crap is your twin. But it's very good part that when we were talking at the Chicago event, that you need to understand your kids. If you have your kids as an excuse not to be with your twin flame, you need to understand for your kids, you're providing the body, the vessel, where the soul will live. You do not own your kids. They're not your property. You don't own the soul out of them. You don't own their body. They're not your slaves. You learn this over time. And even to the experience of my own kids, I understand this part as well. But there was a time with my oldest one. There was old paradigms that needed to be worked that out. She decided not to work that out. She just decided to bolt out like a runner, which is okay. But right now with my youngest one, I do the more important thing. I allowed her to be herself, to find herself the way she is, and allowed her to have the soul part inside of it. And when I explained it to him that the kids are actually not our own kids, they're kids of God, then he understands that one day they're going to look at this as a soul perspective, this part of the soul level. And this is why on those events you meet the people and we exchange vibrations. And he understood now with the vibrations and soul how good that was for him, and that helped him heal. Okay, and we're making an event that it's in Boston. It's on October 6th, 7th, and 8th. And if you've been told inside of you need to be on that event, you will find a way how to get to that event. If you have any troubles with that, contact me, or you can contact Marla Kelly. You can contact Donna Fisher, or you can contact Nagla El Shami, and each one of us, four of us, can help you out to help you to get to that event, because it's important for people when a twin flames comes together to understand everything. And we're discussing the stages there. And if you got a chance to be on that event, you can actually point out your personal vibrations where you stuck into a question, and we can take that question, we can look at that question and give you the right answer with the right vibration that will actually help you to move on. So to finish it again, of this, the stages are stages, and they are made for one reason, of you to accept the love as a gift. You deny that gift within the soul, then all it does is have it those visions, those nightmares, those parts of feeling her, how inside maybe she has her inner fights, or feeling him, how inside have his feeling his fights. The other part is there's gonna be a damage. Some of the people that they go ahead and reconnect with their twin after quite a few years, they'll find out that is something has been done, some kind of damage has been done, and that it's either psychology damage, that is either physical damage, emotional damage, and that is a damage that needs to be fixed. And the more I'm seeing it is that once the twin flame get unite, they're working on that healing process. But what's happening with the people who cannot be completed? Who's going to heal them? And here is the big part of the healing is that when you socialize and you're together in one room with other twin flames, you get those exchanges that help you heal. And this is why it's important as a twin flames to be in person, to be together, because you will exchange those vibrations in person, not 5D, not anything else but 3D, because you bring those vibrations as it's stated in the Bible. It's our job is to bring the heavens and earth. You bring heavenly love into the earth, and when you bring it to the earth, not everybody's gonna like it. Either you were not gonna understand this power of love. But that's what the love is within a twin flame. It's higher level, it's in the soul, and this is the part when they figure out that the darkness and the light coexist together within both of them, and they accept the darkness and the light in the name of love, and not to change each other. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'll appreciate it, your comments, and looking forward for your comments. Be love.